Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of interviewing fellow business owners. Um, for anybody who's new to my page, welcome. Thank you for following me. And for those of you who have been following me for a bit, thank you for your support. As you guys know, I do weekly interviews with fellow business owners to give you guys new perspective, new stories, so you guys can hear what other people's journeys were. And today we have the lovely Vanessa with us. How's it going? Thank you for being on and sharing your story.
Very welcome. It's going well. I'm on a holiday week, so life is pretty mellow this week. It's great.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's get started. Before you joined the online world, Vanessa, what was your life like? What did you do? What was your life?
I've been a paramedic for 19 years. So prior to joining the business, I'd actually been off on a work injury for 18 months. And then it came across my news feed and I jumped in. And then I set it aside for almost a year because work allowed me to come back. So my journey is a lot slower than a lot of other people's. And it was just the way I had to roll with it. It was kind of, when I went back to work, all of my energy went into simply showing up and working, and physically it was so incredibly draining, and I was in so much chronic pain that I just didn't do the business until I got hurt again. And that was my reminder that I can't keep pushing my body like this, and that I don't really have 20 more years of pushing at the rate I was going. So that was kind of my bigger awakening, and when I really started to embrace the business.
So were you scared? Like you were off work, but were you scared?
No, I wasn't scared. I've owned businesses before, and I've done several different ventures. From the moment I watched the workshop and understood what was going on in the background, I believed in it, and I knew that it would work, and I knew it was different than anything else I had done. However, I just didn't have any physical energy left to put into it. So it's not that I was scared to do it. It was just that I had nothing left. I wasn't in a good headspace, and I was in horrific pain, and I didn't feel I was the best version of myself to move ahead at that time. So it was a year later when I really went, this is ridiculous. I've watched so many people quit their jobs. I've met so many of the team. At that point, even though we're international, we do have a fair amount of local people, and we had people that had flown in for a party. So I got to meet a huge amount of the team. And that was kind of my moment of where I just thought, what am I doing? I'm wasting all this time, and there's a smarter way to make money, and I don't need to do overtime anymore, and I don't need to push myself for 20 more years. So that was kind of a little different than how most people started.
Yeah, but sometimes life gets in the way. Like you were injured, and yeah, you can't do everything at once. Although we want to, but yeah. Once you started, you got this going. What was your journey like? How did you start? Walk me through your journey.
I definitely am someone who uses my warm market. So I think I have done so many different jobs in my past, and I have encountered so many people that they see my work ethic, and they see the things that I do, I believe in fully, and I do commit so completely. So I have been very fortunate. I've had many friends who have also joined in after they started seeing the success I was having. And I would say it was August of last year when I realized initially I only wanted to make $1,000 extra a month. I'm a single income home. $1,000 would mean I wasn't scrambling so much between my credit cards. And then I thought, what if I could make 5,000? I don't even bring home 5,000. So if I could make 5,000, it would mean I truly never had to work overtime. And then I thought, wait a minute, I'm watching all these people have 5-figure months. Why can't I make 10,000? Like, what's stopping me? And the only thing stopping me was me. And August of last year, I said, I'm going to make 10,000 in 10 days. And I did. And so that was kind of a pivotal turn for me as well, because then I realized the potential the business truly had. And then in September, October, my younger daughter and I traveled to Europe for 5 weeks. And so I said to her, you know what? And she's now in the business with me, and definitely my right hand. And I said, let's really genuinely track what we're doing for those 5 weeks, and let's make 5,000 in the 5 weeks we're gone, which to me was a little lofty because we were in 13 countries. So it meant finding Wi-Fi, making this work at all different time zones, and really proving to myself that we were legitimately could work this from anywhere. So we made just over 6,000, and we tracked it as we went, and we had like a little key that was showing as we traveled each week how much we were making. And I think for my daughter, that was a turnaround moment for her because she saw how legitimate it was. And 6,000 is not a big number in this business. And 2 years ago, I would have been saying, there's no way I'm going to make 6,000. So that trip also for me solidified a bigger commitment in the business and to spread this farther than just my smaller group of people that I was kind of reaching out to. And now it's taking a nice turn. It's I'm hitting a pretty sweet spot. I'm gonna have a really exciting, massive milestone to share very soon. And so for me, it has been a longer journey than it's taken most people. But the reality is, if someone said 2 years from now, you could be doubling or tripling your income by putting in some effort and doing something you're uncomfortable with, would you do it?
Yeah. And here's a couple of things that you were saying. One of the $6,000 is not a lot for our business, but it's a lot for a family.
Very much.
And that's more than people's income, host house for a whole month. So it is a lot of money. You have to put time and effort into it, right? That's important. Now, the other thing is, okay, it's taken you, 2 years or whatever, but the first year you haven't really done anything, so 1 year. But if it takes you 2 or 3 years, does it really matter? Is it better than going to work for another 20 years as a paramedic for someone else and harming your body? Like, I'm not a paramedic, don't know how, but I can just imagine how hard that job is on your body physically, right?
It has been.
Yeah.
It really has been.
So,
And to know that I've positioned myself in a place where I can go down to 2 days a week. So I'm just waiting for the post to come up for me to move to a beautiful rural community and work 2 days a week. And I have been a 7-day-a-week worker since I was 15. It's what I know. It's what I do. And this is so much smarter. And I know we hear that term, work smarter, not harder. But in my mind, if I had a few spare hours, it meant I could find another job to fill those hours, or, and I'm just going to grab a couple more hours of overtime. I no longer think like that. I think I do not want to be working. I don't even want to work 5 days a week. I don't. I struggle now to go to work for 5 days. I don't want to, and I don't see the point in it when there's such a smarter way to do this. But I'm also, my daughters depend on me. It is me. So I hold that security a little bit, but I'm super ready to drop to 2 days a week and put way more into the business and have way more free time.
before you didn't have an option, right? Before you didn't have an option and you had to work 7 days. Now you have a choice. You decide.
It's true.
Going back to your travels, 5 days, Vanessa and I have actually met in person. We both live in BC. And I followed your journey while you guys were in Europe for those 5 weeks. So can you explain like how you ran your business? I know you needed Wi-Fi, but for someone who's not in the business and that's their dream life, they want to travel and do stuff and not be like at home and do the business. They want to go everywhere. How would that work?
Wi-Fi is essential, and that was our biggest challenge, truly our biggest challenge. There's multiple streams of income in this business. So one of the things that I now do is coaching calls. So for me, it was very exciting to do coaching calls when we touched down in another country and I had a coaching call booked. That was awesome. To work the time zones was so tricky, depending on where I was doing the calls and to what countries I was doing the calls to. So that was probably our biggest challenge was Wi-Fi, but really showing people who you are and the possibilities of where you can travel and sitting in a coffee shop. My daughter and I, for her, we had been speaking of this trip for years, and it was very, very hard for her to do this trip. She's very introverted, homeschooled herself, very patterned with her schedule every day. So a bigger challenge was the different environment every single day. The consistent thing was we still did the business, we still checked in with team members, we still planned our calls, planned advertising. So we still had that main central focus that really actually worked well for us, because we knew at a certain time of the day, it's time to go find a cafe with Wi-Fi and have our coffee and cards, and sit down and do the business. And that I think is key. I do the business around my job. So I know a lot of people were job quitters way earlier than I am going to be, but I had to work half an hour before I go to work, maybe 2 10 or 15-minute chunks throughout the day. In between ambulance calls, I would pop on my phone and answer people. So traveling was actually a whole lot more freedom to work the business on the hours that we had, it was way more adaptable to than what I do normally. So I think that was exciting to see that we really could make it work anywhere, and we really use the time you have, and there's no pressure on that. I think that's the other thing to clarify, is you're not pushed in any way in this business to have to meet demands, to have quotas. There isn't any of that. So you really truly are working around the time that you have.
It's your business. You run it when you want, how you
Yes.
want it, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no race, there's no finish line, and you, like Vanessa said, everybody goes at their own speed.
Yeah.
So your race is yourself and whatever you have up here, right? Nobody's chasing you. It's what you can do, what you want, and you can zoom by or you can go slower.
It's very true.
And I'm a mother of 3, so I'm always like, but I managed to do it, and mostly from my phone and Wi-Fi or data.
Yeah.
What's possible. Vanessa did it traveling Europe for 5 weeks, and she ran her business and made money while she was doing it. And you made what, $6,000 you said?
Just over $6,000. And our goal, we had saved for the flights beforehand. So our goal was to pay for the whole entire trip minus the flights with the business, and we did it. And I think we had like a surplus of $300 at the end of it all. So that in itself, just to say the business paid for the trip, it really did. It was incredible.
That's amazing. Other than the fact that you're going to go, well, not other than the fact, because that's a huge step, going from 7 days a week to 5 days to now possibly 2, whenever you're just waiting for that opening to come up, and then you're going to go.
Yes, I'm excited. We've been decluttering the house, getting rid of everything extra that we don't need, and it's that has been awesome. Decluttering is always wonderful, but we're ready. We're ready for the day it's posted. We are jumping in. We're good to go. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
What other way has your business changed your life from before the online world?
I think we tell ourselves we're too busy for everything, and we don't make time for a lot of important people in our life. I think what it has also done is cut out a lot of people in my life. The negative people who are not benefiting my life. And that may sound very selfish, but if they're time suckers and energy drainers, I simply don't have time for them. I want positive people around me. I want to share what I've learned and my success with other people, because I want to see other people have success. And I think for myself, I am by nature, I am a caregiver and I am a leader, and that's to find something that grooves with, that's cohesive to working with a business. This has been that. So to help others build businesses and to help others find that confidence that they may not have had, those things are rewarding. The people who I've met throughout our business, our team is huge. When I started, we were under 200. We're like 15,000 or something now. It's a lot. Maybe even 16,000. You might have hit 16,000.
Last time I checked, it was 16,667.
Okay, from 200. So, obviously you're not going to meet all those people, but you will connect with some really outstanding people. And I have pulled out of this a good handful of really solid, awesome people. I have 2 friends that I will have for life, who are my go-tos, who just, I mirror what they do in their business. And I like to mentor and coach the way that they do. And they're people I would have never met, and they just inspire me. So that's kind of exciting too, because you don't go into this thinking personal growth. You don't go into this thinking you're going to have more friends. But it shifts. And I think I wasn't clear on what mindset even was prior to the business. And that's something else that our business has in spades over any other business I've ever done. We aren't just about making money. We are about growing and learning and digging deeper into yourself and being the best version of yourself. And although that might sound hokey and like a Hallmark card, it's very true. And there were things I didn't even know I needed to work on because I was keeping myself at that so busy level all the time that I wasn't getting rid of all that hum in my head. And now I am. Now I realize there's a way better way to use my time that's helpful to myself, my daughters, and to so many people on the team. So for me, that's been huge as well.
And you don't realize how much bullshit you're carrying around.
Oh, so true. So true.
Get rid of it until you're just like, whoa. Yeah. But
yeah.
What does retirement look for you like for you now?
This job that I'm going to switch to, that's 2 days a week, I could see myself doing it for 10 or 15 years because it utilizes my skills in a totally different way. And it means I'm really integrating into a community and making a difference in that regard. But financially, this business is what's going to carry me. And I now know that. And I know that I am setting myself up not only for a better retirement, but also to leave the legacy for my daughters. And that's huge. Prior to this, I made some poor choices. I've had to start my life all over again. This will allow me now to actually understand what retirement's going to be like, where before I just thought, oh my word, I'm going to grind for another 20 years, busting my body. And now I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. I appreciate it. And I look forward to your next milestone. And celebrating with you pretty soon here.
Yes.
So, thank you, Vanessa. Awesome. And everybody for watching, thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.